Welcome back in, everybody. The clock has struck 12 and midnight has arrived. And you know what that means. It is time for another post-game video. And for a special occasion, a one-time deal, we're also going to look at two of the polls I held here on this channel too. So it's a double-packed video. And yeah, let's just get into it. So, post-game video, how this works is that I usually like to just look through the comment section just to see what everybody's talking about. Opinions, theories, jokes, we're here for all of it. And the first comment is from old Oklahoma City Thunder basketball player Russell Westbrook, my guy. Seeing Captain John get one shot by Ganzui confirmed that he's Kid's dad. No, dude! Oh, man, I've been seeing memes. People have taken it too far. They're saying who wins the matchup, Mr. 5 or Eustace Kid. Guys. The slander's gotta stop eventually. It sucks because Kid can't even fight back. When will that guy come back into the story? It could be years from now. And until that point, until he shows back up, the slander will continue. I will admit, it's kind of hilarious. I guess it just goes to show the difference in attack power in between users. Like, brother, Mr. 5 was not doing this. Like, you put Mr. 5 in this scenario, he's not using, Sky Striker Red Snake. No. He's getting one shot, but Ganzui, this monster, is made of sterner things, I guess. One thing that I kind of wish we got, I will say this, I don't think most people will care about it, but I do. I do, damn it. But I really wish we got bounties for Rocks' crew. Just for fun, right? Like, oh, how much is Ganzui worth? Is he worth $1 billion in your opinion? A little bit below that? Where would you peg him? And then same with Captain John. I think those are genuine things, and I think it's kind of fun to play with, right? If you had to give the Rocks pirate bounties, where would you go? Captain John, I'd give him like a solid 1.2. Ganzui, damn, Ganzui beat Captain John, but obviously, bounties aren't always strength related. But Ganzui, dude, would I have to go 1.4? Maybe. But then again, maybe that's too high. Inflation piece, man, it's a thing, let me tell you. Barbell, though, I will say this. Barbell, I wouldn't be shocked if he had the highest bounty for a fishman. Second comment says, the fact that anyone thought Rocks could stand toe-to-toe with Emu is hilarious. I didn't think Rocks could stand toe-to-toe with Emu. I don't think anybody thought Rocks could stand toe-to-toe with Emu, to be fair. I think when it came to the Rocks versus Emu matchup, people just thought he would last longer before getting Domi Reversi. It's kind of like the Garland thing from last week, right? We didn't think Garland was gonna beat Rocks, but we just thought the fight would be a little bit longer, you know what I mean? Baby Shanks, knowing substitution jutsu was an unexpected development. I didn't even catch this the first time around, but yeah, brother, Dragon went from holding Shanks to holding a log. What? Okay, I get losing Shanks, right? You're being pulled away, Jiki no Mi has activated, but how does a log replace Baby Shanks? Like, I don't know. It's gonna be a gag 100%. I would love it. Knowing that Oda and Kishimoto are good friends, hopefully they do like Naruto sound effects. I think that'd be pretty hilarious. But yeah, Baby Shanks knowing substitution jutsu is absurd. If Emu can just shrug off a combined attack by 6 of the strongest characters in the series while using a vessel, imagine how powerful Emu is in their original body. And not just that, but imagine how powerful Joy Boy is. Or the original Davy Jones. Like, those guys must have been absolute monsters. And yeah, dude, Emu being more powerful at the Holy Land, I can see it. Obviously this is like a tangent. We still don't know what the Eve tree can do. That has not been shown yet, but it exists at the Holy Land. Like, just imagine if not only Emu is stronger base level, but the Eve tree is also giving them buffs or something. Like, Emu's gonna be absolutely absurd. If you're afraid of stepping on ants, you'll never walk anywhere. That's a good quote. I wish you kind of put who said that. Maybe it's just you, the Roman Torchic. Torchic. I don't like Torchic either. It's funny because I slandered Infernape in this video, and I didn't realize how many people swung for Infernape. Granted, nobody swung for IPOM. I made fun of IPOM. Nobody cared. Infernape, though, that's the forbidden fruit, apparently. But yeah, I don't like Torchic either. And that's just the dastardly thing about the internet. 1 minute you think you know me, right? You're like, Sai, I bet he loves Infernape. And then I betray you in the video, and I tell you I don't like that dirty Pokemon. Okay, that's a bit extreme. I don't know. I don't hate Infernape. I just don't like monkeys. I find them a little bit cliche. Like, brother, even when it comes to Sun Wukong and, you know, anything in that genre, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. When I was in my Chinese era, yeah, 100%, but I think I'm out of my Chinese era, you know what I mean? So, this quote, I think, is in reference to me talking about why Emu, Saturn, and the Gorosei just keep on killing Marines. And you're right, you know, if you're afraid of stepping on ants, you'll never walk anywhere. But here's the thing, though. It's not about, like, afraid of stepping on ants. These guys are kind of going out of their way to attack ants. They're going out of their way to just step on those dudes. And I'm like, yo, like, the ants are on your side, brother. You control the ants, man. That's my thing, but I do get it. They do see everybody besides themselves as insects, so why care about those lives in the first place? I think I would respect this more, and maybe we'll learn that this is the case even, but I'd respect it more if they got a buff from killing people, right? We know that Emu uses magic, souls, and etc., so I wouldn't be super shocked if in the future we come to find out that they need human sacrifices. Dead people fuel their power source. That would be pretty cool. Kind of like how Hawkins, this is a bad example, but it's an example. Hawkins, right? He ties his lives to other people. So Hawkins can survive up to 10 blows, 10 mortal blows by using other lives. Maybe that's how immortality works. Like, it's not infinite. Eventually they will run out. And maybe every time Emu or Garling or somebody dies, a slave at the Holy Land is actually getting all the damage. That'd be pretty crazy to find out. But yeah, I wonder if there will be like some soul siphoning going on in the future. This is Whitebeard's first named attack, which is cool. It is cool. And yeah, brother, it is really cool. It kind of sucks, though, I will admit, that all of Whitebeard's best showings are post-mortem. It's kind of like the Ace effect, in my opinion, where it's like, oh, you know, Marineford Ace, yeah, he died. That's kind of sad. Didn't like Ace too much. I mean, I liked Ace, but not too much as the next guy. And then after Marineford, boom, here's the Ace flashback. That's kind of what's happening here to Whitebeard. It's like, oh, Whitebeard's dead. And now here's Whitebeard when he's younger looking freaking badass, dude. So it was Captain John that enabled Shanks to become a Roger pirate and the Yonko legend we know and love today, who also influenced Luffy to become a great pirate in his own right. Where would we be without Captain John? That's the butterfly effect. So many people can be attributed to this right here, right? Not just that, but you could say Roger, you know, Roger raised them. You could say Garling, even. If Garling never laid seed, we wouldn't have One Piece, right? Luffy would not have become a pirate. Shanks' mom, you know, if Shanks' mom never did the deed, yeah, still no Shanks. Like, it's crazy when you think back to, like, all the factors at play here, and it's beautiful. It really is. I got 20 on Dragon walking up next chapter to have a devil fruit staring at him from the aftermath of John's treasure tornado. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of treasure chests have just been busted open around Dragon. And of course, Shanks is in one of those treasure chests. I would not be shocked if Dragon starts walking around just boom, 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 like loot boxes or a gacha game. He's going around opening these chests up looking for Shanks, and then boom, treasure chest is staring right at him with the devil fruit. Maybe he does want to eat it right away. Because I feel like eating a devil fruit, that's always a big dilemma for One Piece characters, except for Kaido, of course. So maybe he'll look at it, he's like, should I do it, should I not? And then maybe he sees somebody getting hurt, or maybe he starts getting attacked, and he's like, okay, I need to eat this ASAP, or else I'm just gonna die here, and I won't be able to save the baby. You know, that's Dragon's whole character. He is very selfish. Wrong word. He's very selfless. So if the fruit will help him in aiding others, he'll definitely do it. What if Garp kept his job because Emu is avoiding another galaxy impact to the jaw? Yeah, maybe that's why Emu doesn't leave the flower room. Great agenda. I love it. Oh, the reason Emu never leaves the Holy Land is because Garp is keeping him in check. The Fist of Love is locking him down, brother. 1732. What did I say there? It actually looks like Ganzui is also trying to take out Shiki. That's why Shiki is looking back. Look at Ganzui's hand. Same form as when he attacked John. Oh, really? Let me see. That is a really good observation if true. And, you know, going back to the purpose of these videos, I love looking through comments because you guys will sometimes pick up things that I didn't even see. And I read this chapter like 3 times, let me tell you. But then again, I'm Asian. So did I really read the chapter? I don't know. You could argue I didn't. Oh, he is. You're so right. Yeah, he's got the booger flick ready. Damn, Ganzui, really? Here's the thing. If Ganzui didn't drop how much money these chests were worth, Shiki would have never wanted them in the first place. Well, he might have wanted them, but he wouldn't have gone after them, dude. Yeah, That's like putting cheese in front of a mouse and then hitting the mouse when it goes after the cheese. It's like, yeah, you did this, Gonzo. You set him up. Damn, dude, these Rocks pirates, man, dirty bastards. Dirty, dirty guys. The Infernape disrespect is insane. Look at that. Infernape defenders in 2025. Guys, I don't know. Who is my favorite Pokemon? I will admit, I have this weird love for Omastar. I think Omastar is really cool. You know, fossil Pokemon, they're kind of the bee's knees, but it's an acquired taste, I will admit. Yeah, Omastar, obviously, I'm basic. I like Gengar. Duskull's pretty cool. Darkrai is my favorite legendary. But yeah, Pokemon's crazy, bro. Pokemon's crazy. Oh yeah, also, Magneton. Weird one. I really love Magneton. Maybe that's why I'm a kid fan. I think that explains a lot. People are jumping on the gun on Domi Reversi. Obviously, Oda isn't going to explain how to counter it right now. It's just like how he didn't explain Logia's, so that we felt hopeless fighting them. Yes, I don't think Emu's gonna like go on a soapbox the next chapter and explain every single thing about Domi Reversi. Well, maybe he will. But if I had to put my money down on something, I do think that we will at least get hints as to how to counteract it. Like maybe Oda will slip in a panel, kind of like the Gonzui thing, right? Like a small panel where maybe Domi Reversi doesn't work on somebody. Maybe it has a limited effect on certain characters. Like I think we will get hints to how Domi Reversi will work. I don't think he's gonna like outright explain it, but we'll learn more than we did in this chapter. That's what I think. Garp kept his job because Emu gave a total of 0 fucks. Yeah. Dude, Emu really didn't care. It's so sad, but good to see. You know, Emu just tanking blows, looking at the sky. Emu's doing it, man. Emu is doing a good job at being a final villain. It's tough. Maybe I'll hold a poll on that later. But right now, I don't think Emu's the final villain. If I had to guess, I'd put my money on Blackbeard just because I feel like Blackbeard and Luffy, people are going to hate this. I think they could work together to beat Emu. You know, between the promise of Davy Jones and Joy Boy's will, I think they're going to team up, take down Emu, and then boom, Blackbeard versus Straw Hats. That is what I think is going to happen. You're fine to disagree with that. But yeah, I think we're going to get a nasty team up, like a forced team up even. It justifies how powerful Joy Boy's Hockey is if Emu has a busted ability. Yeah, maybe Conqueror's Hockey is still the way to beat Domi Reversi and all the other abilities Emu has. But the reason we haven't seen anybody perfectly counter it yet is because nobody's Hockey is as powerful as Joy Boy's. I mean, hell, Joy Boy's Hockey apparently sent the Gorosei back to the Holy Land, right? When Emmet released the knot, boom, everybody take 5. Which is absurd. Which also, does that speak volumes on Shanks? Because Dorian and Brogy, they kind of compared Joy Boy's Hockey to Shanks, which is a massive upscale if that's true. Emu busting out a grimoire makes me think that before God Valley ends, she's going to hit Roger with an illness that kills him. None of his crew is there to witness him fighting Emu, so the origins of how he got sick would be a mystery. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, when you think of magic, curses kind of fall right in line. Curses, hexes, anything of the sort. Yeah, Emu's like, hey, I'm gonna punish you. You know what? I'm not gonna outright kill you. I can't use Domi Reversi on you. Let's just make you sick and there's no cure. Ooh, I do like this theory. Obviously this theory has been around for a while, but of course, now that Emu is here, now that we see all the magical abilities, I'm liking it more and more. Zeus, can't remember shit from decades ago, got the mental capacity of a toaster. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Zeus, whenever I think of Zeus, it reminds me of my cat, which Yuzu's right here. Can you guys actually see him? Oh, you can. Yeah, he's like right here. Not a single thought behind his eyes. So mindless, in fact, that I almost wanted to name him Zeus. Let me just pick him up and show you guys real quick. Look at this chunkster, bro. I never really show off my cats on camera. But yeah, this is Yuzu, named after the Japanese fruit or lemon thing. But yeah, not a thought behind those eyes, man. I think Shiki is about to cut Gonzui in half. As Sai pointed out, that Gonzui had elephant legs as a zombie. Ooh, yeah. Gonzui somehow, some way loses his bottom half. Maybe Shiki does it, which I do think would be kind of ironic or poetic. I don't know which one is the right one. Maybe they're both right. Because, you know, Shiki later goes on and loses both of his legs. Maybe that's Shiki's thing. He goes around chopping people in half, and then one day, he's the one who gets chopped in half voluntarily. I'm officially convinced that this whole time, the emu that we have seen is actually a shadow and not a silhouette. The real emu is somewhere else because, at this point, having 2 full-blown battle scenes showing multiple angles of a literal silhouette would be next level silliness even for Oda. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that more and more. I mean, hell, the minute we got an emu, wait, is it over here? An emu plushie that is literally just a blackened thing. I'm like, huh, is he really just a shadow monster? Which, I mean, would fit, right? I mean, Luffy's the sun god, he's all white. It kind of fits if Emu's all black. Maybe there is like a real body underneath it. A couple of videos ago, I made a reference to Codename Kids Next Door. He could be like Father, where Father is also all black, but they can go back to their human form and they look normal. I think Emu could do the same thing. I don't think that's out of the realm. Maybe they like the shadow form. They want to be ambiguous. They don't want to be seen by human eyes, but when they're by themselves, when they're chilling or with the boys, they're like, okay, let me just turn this off and just hang out and lay 10. I like that. No matter what though, my one thing I want for Emu is for them to not look stupid. In like a fashion sense, I hope they got ore when we see them. I hope they're like dripped out. I hope the hair's looking good. The face card is valid. Like, I hope Emu isn't ugly. I don't want another Orochi reveal. Remember that? Orochi, two-sword style. We heard about the legendary Shogun of Wano, Orochi, the monster that beat Odin. And then we saw what he looked like, and it's like, okay, this is Oda's messing with us, bro. I hope Emu's not the same way. Which, power-wise, Emu has not been that same way so far. Emu being unable to Domi Reversi anyone with devil fruits could make a lot of sense if we consider that Blackbeard desperately wants a fruit for every single crew member. Yes. That could be the reason why. It's not just because Blackbeard thinks that's the best way to bolster his forces and power, but because he knows about the intricacies of Domi Reversi. He wants to give them devils so that they cannot turn on him in the end. Marines trying to stop Garp is the most epic panel in the chapter, in my opinion. Yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't say the panel where they're trying to stop Garp. I like the panel where Garp is grinning and it's like very shadowed over, so you can't really tell what he's thinking of. But of course, right there, he's being rebellious. He wants to fight Emu. That's what I like. But of course, this panel is a lead up to that, which is also nice. This is what I think. There's a pattern that One Piece follows. First, we were introduced to Logia users who can only be damaged via Haki. Then we were introduced to Holy Knights who can only be damaged via Conqueror's Haki. For Emu, Conqueror's Haki itself isn't enough, evident from 1163. What I believe is only the 2 Devil Fruit Xebec Cold plus Advanced Haki can truly damage Emu. And I believe Yami Yami and Nika Fruit are those 2. Nika can turn imagination into reality, so obviously he can damage him. For the Yami Yami, I think the ultimate ability of the Yami Yami is to not negate Devil Fruits, but to nullify the regeneration of people at the top. And for Emu, I think the Yami Yami probably can awaken and nullify, or at least slow down healing, and along with Advanced Conqueror's Haki, we can damage her. So I bet only Blackbeard and Luffy could damage Emu and possibly defeat him-her. Yes, I agree. I think a lot of people are pretty much on the same boat. As far as this goes, like the reasoning why, I think it's just because they're also gods as well. Like Nika, sun god. So in that sense, I wouldn't be surprised if Blackbeard also ends up being a type of god as well. Maybe the moon god, maybe the darkness god. But yeah, I think they're like 2 sides of the same coin. They're both liberators in their own right, which is why they can damage Emu. Maybe they liberate whatever powers they have. But yeah, I mess with that heavy. And of course, like you said, you know, Rocks talked about 2 devil fruits you need. It's gotta be those 2. Roger's treasure is the One Piece. Davy Jones' treasure is his locker. Yeah, Davy Jones' locker. That's gotta come in at some point. I would not be shocked. Just like how Joy Boy has a treasure, I bet Davy Jones has one too. I think Emu can only turn people who are in mental distress, no matter how strong they are. Since Nika is always in good spirits, he is the only one who cannot be turned. I don't mind that. Of course, if this is the case, we're gonna have to really hope that Luffy does not run out of gear 5th. Because Luffy so far has only lasted like 5 or 10 minutes, and then he's out of steam, and he goes back to normal. This last one, and then we'll go to the polls. It says, I'm out of theories on anything at this point. I'm just here for the ride. And that is respectable, brother. And that is why I like these discussions, right? I'm not over here making like dedicated theory videos. I'm just here for a good time. We're all here to chat and shoot the shit. So here we go on to the polls. I got 2. Let's start with this one first. Do you personally enjoy Rocks getting turned into a demon. Domi Reversi, yes or no? Of course, I only posted this 3 hours ago. We don't have like the biggest pool of comments. Actually, I lied. We have 76. What the heck? That's actually a lot considering it's only been 3 hours. But yes, here we go. 1.4 thousand votes. 45% say yes, they do enjoy Rocks being turned into a demon, but 55% say no. No, they do not. Here's my stance. I do not mind Rocks getting turned into a demon, but I do fall back kind of with what I said earlier, where I didn't expect it to happen in this chapter. Next chapter, oh yeah, sure. You know, end credits, Rocks demon, perfect. But I just feel like it's so fast, right? Rocks didn't really have a great chance. I get it, he wouldn't win, but man, it was quick, right? One blow, Domi Reversi, goodbye, Rocks. Like, oh, man. And that's why I really hope that Rocks comes back. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Let me see. I believe there's a comment down here that kind of explains how I feel as well, so we'll get to that here in a second. But yeah. 45% say yes, 55% say no. On to the top comment, they say, I don't really have a problem with it. I don't mind Emu having a busted ability since he's probably going to be the final villain, or at least the main force behind the final war. I just hope we get a solid explanation for how the Domi ability works so it doesn't downplay how strong Rocks really was, yeah? If it's a gimmick ability, where, you know, a solid one that people are talking about, which we'll get to here later, it's like, oh, you know, if you're in your homeland, if you're perturbed, you get turned. I don't mind that because that means that there are countermeasures to it. And I do think that for a final villain and a final war, you do kind of need somebody with this ability. Because looking at it right now, we have the entire world, potentially, versus Emu and the world government. And the Marines, I think, are in the middle. 6-7, right? Like, what are the Marines going to do? I do think at some point, maybe this is just copium. I think the Marines are going to side with the world. I don't think they're always going to be the WG dogs. Maybe they do until like the last 5% of the story. But yes, if the Marines join on the opposing side, it's like, yeah, the WG is cooked. They need more forces, especially since the God Knights can't exactly roll with the big dogs. So Domi Reversi, I think, is going to be the great equalizer. Maybe Emu goes to all the countries allied with the world government that fly the flag. And boom, Domi Reversi, Domi Reversi, Domi Reversi. And then that is how we get a major war and how Emu has a lot of fodder. But yes, that is how I feel about that. And now on to this comment, which is kind of what I wanted to echo earlier. Yes, I do not mind it if he pulls a Majin Vegeta. I hope Rocks comes back. I hope this is not the last of full conscious Rocks we get. I hope that he either snaps out of it when he fights Roger or Garp, maybe after he kills his wife or confronts his son. I just hope he comes back and he's not fully cooked. I think that would be really sad. I don't know if I'd really enjoy that. I just want at least like 2 pages of normal Rocks again. That's all I want. But as far as Majin Vegeta goes, that's like on the extreme opposite end where Vegeta was always in control, right? Vegeta kind of explains it. He's like, you know what? I just wanted the power up, you know? Babidi, I followed his orders because I know that would rile you up, Goku. Like, that was Vegeta, man. But for Rocks, though, I don't know if he's got that in him, man. I don't know. I love it, though. I love it. I hated it when I read the spoilers, but I'm gonna wait to see how it ends. If Rocks actually dies being Emu's slave, forced to kill his family, and just dies versus Roger and Garp, then that would be underwhelming in my opinion. The only saving grace for this Domi Reversi plot is Rocks breaking out of Emu's control. He either challenges Emu again, passes on a message that inspires everyone who fought Emu if he can't fight after Domi Reversi, or he escapes and becomes the man with burned scars, which I doubt. Kuma somehow got a more fleshed out last moment scene with his consciousness just for that to be a classic Oda fake out, so he better not go out like this. I agree with you. Yeah, this is how I feel, right? I didn't hate it per se, but I just really hope he comes back. And as far as like the final message, I think this has to happen. Rocks knows about Davy Jones. He knows about Davy Jones's promise. I think he has to pass that down. Whitebeard got a moment like that at Marineford where he's like, oh, the One Piece is real. Roger had that moment. I think Rocks will have that moment too. I don't think he's going to talk about the One Piece, but I think he will talk about Davy Jones, which, you know, going back to the comments earlier, maybe they talk about Davy Jones's locker. And Roger wants to go after it, and that's how he finds the One Piece, which that would mean that Joy Boy and Davy Jones have the same treasure. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but just an idea. Overall, yes. Because with the current build-up of Rocks' character being all around a decent guy, and knowing the fact that Roger and Garp inevitably took him down, still, no narrative. would really make sense other than some form of manipulation like this. Plus, seeing a top tier of the verse get Domi Reversi'd is a crazy thing to learn for us. It makes us feel like no one is safe. That's a good point. We talked about this in the video, but brother, if Rocks got Domi'd, anybody can. Of course, if there's like stipulations, we'll get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, you know, Zoro, not safe. Sanji, not safe. The Straw Hats, in general, not safe. It's an amazing ability. It is a good equalizer. I enjoy it for the most part. One thing I will say, maybe this is me being pedantic, you know, kind of nitpicking. I kind of wish the demons looked a little bit different. Right, so far, fangs, horns, trident, that's it. Oh yeah, did I say wings? I don't think I said wings. Wings! Brother, add some demon diversity in there. You know, there's so many demons in the world. Emu, so many designs. Change it up, brother. Make Rocks look a little bit special. I don't know. Give him like a third eye. Give him a third leg. Maybe don't give him a third leg. Haki. He's akin to your will, so it makes sense if, like Future Sight, if you're disturbed, you're susceptible. But it probably works both ways, where if the whole Joy Boy Haki Knot thing happened, the Domi Reversi would be undone because Emu was disturbed. Ooh, that's a good point. Which, unironically, Usopp could be the one to break the spell in Elbaph due to his history of fighting these opponents like Perona and Sugar, which would be a big win, and certainly fighting God and winning would make him a brave warrior of the sea. And also, Usopp's epithet is literally God Usopp. So we have God versus Devil Emu on Elbaph. Yeah. I see this happening. This is the best way, in my opinion, to make Usopp shine in Elbaph without it being strength related. You know, this isn't like a power thing where it's like, oh, you know, you have to be stronger than Emu. No. I think it could just be a gimmick, and Usopp could be the one to figure it out, thus making Elbaph Usopp's arc without him, you know, getting freaking jacked or anything. The strange thing is, what is Gunko? She's not a demon, but she is clearly being mind controlled, so it's likely Emu has at least 2 different controlling abilities with 2 different ways to escape them. I mean, hell, Emu has a whole ass grimoire, brother. I bet Emu has like a dozen spells that all manipulate people. I would not be shocked. I mean, dude, wizards! Let me tell you, they got deep ass pockets. Sorry, I feel like I'm cursing a lot more in this video. It's because Halloween's around the corner. Blame the Halloween spirit. Yes, with the caveat that there needs to be a cool condition involved with Domi Reversi. I love the theory that it can only be used on someone in their homeland. If that's the case, then God Valley as a trap to lure Rocks home is a great twist and makes the turn satisfying. If there aren't any conditions though, then it feels like a plot hole. If Emu can just turn anyone, that would be completely ridiculous. I trust Oda to not do that and add some condition that makes the ability and story satisfying though. Yeah, and one thing I found really fascinating, people brought it up, I don't think Emu had to do it at the time, but Emu did not Domi Reversi Sabo at the Holy Land. He didn't Domi Reversi King Cobra. Did not Domi Reversi Rocks when they first showed up at the Holy Land. Perhaps we can use those instances as points on a graph to show that, yeah, the homeland thing might just be correct. I saw a meme, slanderous meme, hilarious. It was like, please, Emu, Domi Reversi me. It's Sabo saying that. He's like, I need top tier fates, please, Emu, please. It's so silly, dude. Agenda piece is hilarious. You know, if you don't take it seriously, it's some good stuff. I really don't know how to feel about Domi Reversi because we all know nothing about it. As far as Rocks, no, my goat! I don't want him to die yet. And this person says that purely depends on how it's written in the next chapters. Yeah. That's the big thing, right? Obviously, I think it's fine to have a gut reaction. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I love it. But I think we all know that next chapter, it could change a lot of perspectives. We will learn more about how this goes down in a couple of days. So, next poll and the final poll of the video. What are the conditions for Domi Reversi to work? Obviously, there are more than these 4 options, but YouTube, of course, will only let me put 4 options. So I just put the 4 that I thought were the most popular, or at least popped in my head at the time. So first option, I said that it affects everybody except maybe Devil Fruit users, which includes Nika Fruit, the Yami Fruit, etc. Second, must be their homeland. 3, blood dash attacked by Emu, which we saw this chapter, right? In this chapter, Emu just shot tentacles through Rocks, and then boom, Domi Reversi. And of course, Brogy, another great example, shot off the arm, Domi Reversi. And then lastly, you just have to be weaker than Emu, hockey-wise. A big one people are going to bring up will probably be being disturbed, like your mental's not in order. I think that'd be a great 5th option if I had to pick. But you can see how divided this all is, right? I think this is a very even spread. We got 18% saying Devil Fruit users are the exception, 33% saying that you have to be in your homeland, 33% saying blood, and then 16% say no, you just have to be weaker than Emu. Good stuff here. I don't know where I fall yet. Damn. If you had to point a gun at me and all my cats, and if you told me you were going to execute all 5 of them one by one until I picked an option, I'd probably immediately pick this one right here, right? Everybody except for devil fruit users. It kind of goes back to a rumor we heard about devil fruits in the very beginning, about how you eat it and then you're cursed by the sea and, you know, a devil resides in your body. Hocus pocus. All of that seemed like nonsense. Like, oh, okay, old man. Yes, you're right. Demons exist and they're inside these fruits. Maybe they were cooking. You know, maybe they were actually cooking. And if you do have a devil inside of you, Emu can't turn you into a devil. I don't mind that. And, you know, with all the focus on hockey in the past couple of arcs, I think this would be kind of cool because it would shift the focus more back to devil fruits, right? Which is pretty funny. You know, Kaido's like, hey, hockey's the way, it transcends all. And then now it's like, oh, but also devil fruits, it really matters. I think that'd be kind of fun. But yes, let's go into the comment section and see what people are saying. I kind of explained myself here that there's more options. This first one says, when someone is emotionally unstable. There we go. Yeah. The hidden 5th option, the hidden 5th emperor of the poll. Maybe it's like what Babidi did to Vegeta. He can use your own negative emotions against you if they are intense enough. And we do know that if you master observation hockey, you do see negative emotions and positive emotions as colors via Fujitora. Back in Dressrosa, when all civilians were running through Fujitora, he just saw like red, blue, green, and they were just all flocking to the Straw Hats. Maybe that's it. You know, maybe that's a hint at emotions being a big aspect. I think there's a possibility where a contract was made in the past and it impacts the entirety of a crew-race. For example, if Davy Jones made a deal with Emu, then his entire clan can be transformed via Domi Reversi. This could get disproven if Harold doesn't make a deal, but I do think after God Valley, we will see him make some sort of contract with Emu. That's a good one. You know, this is unique. I like that. Yeah. It goes back to the Void Century. And it's like, yeah, the sins of your ancestors got passed down to them, right? Oh, you made a contract with Emu, Joy Boy, you're Davy Jones, and now we're being cursed for it. Come on. I like this. I like this route a lot. It's unique. What if Emu can only do it once he rage baits you? Yeah. Your family, huh? They're gonna die. And then Rocks gets domied. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. People are comparing Akainu to Emu, saying like the strongest rage baiter in history versus the current strongest rage baiter. And that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I remember when Rayleigh said, if you find the truth of the world as you are now, you can't do anything. I think he was partially talking about Emu. I think so too. Yeah. And of course, you know, Rayleigh said he came to a certain answer as well, which could mean a lot of things. That really could. A series of conditions should be met. Most importantly, negative emotions, though physical damage is probably also essential. But the homeland thing and not being a devil fruit user might be just as crucial. Okay, so you're picking like all of the above. I love that. Yeah, a series of conditions. If it could be done to anyone away from their homeland, why not do it to the rest like Roger and Garp? That could still happen in upcoming chapters, but I doubt it. Also, Loki was at his homeland, but they tried to recruit him instead of Emu, taking over Gonko and just reversing him. Why? Perhaps because he is a devil fruit user. I like that. That is a good thing to ask. Why not Domi Reversi Loki? Maybe that could happen later, right? We don't know what's going to come in the upcoming chapters. But yeah, Emu not taking over Gunko right then and there. Maybe because they still want Loki to some extent. I mean, they want the Giants, right? So like, oh yeah, Loki, he's turning us down. Let's go upstairs instead and kidnap kids. I mean, Domi Reversi was not their first option, right? They wanted to negotiate to some extent. I think that's why. And of course, Emu was dealing with whatever's attacking the Holy Land too. Mach Vegeta-esque. It's going to be due to the state of mind, which can either be pain, hate, evil, or doubt. I also hope we see Rocks breaking through it as well. Me too. Me too, King Pluto. I'll read 2 more and then we'll call it there. The Homeland Theory would explain why Emu doesn't just go around doing Domi Reversi to every single emperor or top tier pirate, since pirates are never in their hometown and always on the seas. And I like this. I forgot who mentioned it. I think it was a comment, but it's been sticking with me for the past couple of days. They said, obviously we all know that Domi Reversi, you translate it and it does mean I have returned home or I have returned. Emu, before we even met them here, right? We've kind of had this assumption that they might be a girl. And that's because of what Otis said in like SBS 50-ish. I don't know if I could find it right off the top of my head, but it's around SBS 50, where he talks about mothers being the antithesis of adventures, and mothers are powerful because of that. And because of that, people are like, oh, like maybe Emu is a mother. And hey, mothers not wanting you got to see could also just be tied to that. Mothers want you back home. I think this could all just tie together. And I do like it. I think the hard part would just be knowing who is from what land. Like, does Emu just have like a registry of births? He's like, okay, so Rocks is from God Valley. I can do him. Roger, no, he's from like Logtown. Garp, he was born in Goa Kingdom, so I can't, like, that's my one thing. Like, unless Emu has like a Shinigami eyes, where he looks at you and he just sees like your date of birth and like where you're from. Like, I feel like that's so much work to put in. Or maybe he just Domi Reversies and then sometimes it just doesn't work and we'll see that next chapter. But yeah, I think that's just hilarious, man. It might have a few stipulations at once. After all, if I'm correct, it comes from the power of the Abyss, a power mechanic we know little of. Perhaps it is more similar to the Reversy game itself. I like the Reversy game because, you know, obviously when you play a game, you need an opponent. So far, Emu has been playing Reversy by themselves. So I do like the idea that it is a game, like maybe two characters corner Rocks, and then he does flip over back to white. I feel like that just get really wacky though. Oh, he's cornered. Oh, he's white again. He's normal. And then Emu does it again, and then he's black. I feel like it would just get really willy-nilly if that's the case, but I do like the game aspect of it. I do like it. But yes, that is it for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down below. Next chapter should be just around the corner. It's crazy, right? Chapter on Thursdays, Fridays, and then boom! Monday, Tuesday, spoilers have dropped. Brother, we are living in a fast world. Anyways, you guys take care. Thank you for watching this video all the way until the end. If you have the time, I would really freaking appreciate it if you checked out my side channels. I got Syvduck, SYVDUCK over here on the side. And that is where I post gameplay clips, and I just talk about random stuff there too. Most recently, I talked about Chainsaw Man, the movie Reversy. It's so good, dude. Possibly, actually not possibly, it is genuinely the best anime movie I've ever watched. It was beautiful from start to finish. If you have not watched Chainsaw Man yet, I highly recommend it. Season 1 is a masterpiece, and then the movie, orgasmic, really. I also have another channel called Somnus Reacts, where I react to anime. Currently, I'm doing One Punch Man and One Piece. And then next season, we're going to be checking out Frieren and JJK. Is it JJK? Oh my god, yeah, JJK's next season. Holy crap, that's so soon. Anyways, I'm rambling. You guys take care. Stay safe, and peace out, brothers.